Good day, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to bring something that we're experimenting with the biryani side. This is going to be a dum chicken minced or keema biryani. So we've started with 3 tablespoons of mustard oil. You can use any vegetable oil that you prefer, or ghee, and we're going to come behind that with some onions, thinly sliced. So this is 2 large onions that we've used, along with 2 fairly large green chilies, and let them fry. So to help the onions fry, we're going to add in the salt. That's going to be 1 teaspoon of salt, and get this frying. Now you might be thinking, what happened to the whole spices? The whole spices will be going into the rice that we're going to cook at about 80%, and it's going to be like a layered biryani or a dum biryani. So wait for the onions to cook. Make them nice and golden brown. They have to be really fried well, and then we'll start adding in the other ingredients. Alright, so the onions are perfectly browned and lovely, and now what you got to do for the assembling, just take off about half of these onions so that you can top them on the rice, and this should be just good enough for you to start the next adding the next ingredient. So we're going to add in about 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. Make sure you fry this really well for about 20 seconds or so, and then we can start adding in the next ingredients. Now, while the ginger garlic paste is frying nicely, I also wanted to let you know that we've started getting the water on a roll boil because we're going to add in the rice. So we're going to add in the rice. That's 1 cup of basmati, long grain basmati rice that we're using. We're going to add about 1 teaspoon of salt in this, and we're now going to add in the whole spices. So we've got about 2 cardamoms, 2 star anise, we've got 2 bay leaves, and we've also got a couple cloves as well added in there. So to this, just add about a teaspoon of water, not too much, just a little bit, and sorry, that was oil. I think you heard my wife whisper. Yeah, so you add 1 teaspoon of oil in there, and just cook the rice till about 80%. I'll show you how it looks at 80%, and we'll move from there. So I'm going to add in 3 tomatoes in this. Make sure you fry them. So it should be fried for at least about a minute. And of course they can also be fried along with the whole the spices that I'm going to add in. So I'm going to start with 1 heaped teaspoon of coriander, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Of course, we're going to also add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and we'll also be adding 1 teaspoon of garam masala, and fry this all really well. So you just add a little splash of water in this, and just cook it for about a minute, not more than that. Alright, so we added the splash of water, and as you can see, the masala is cooking out nicely. We're going to add about half a cup of curd in there, and let this cook along with your keema. So that's going to be the next thing we are adding in. So we've got about 300 grams of chicken mince that we're going to use for this recipe, and just make sure this keema cooks well. Don't just leave your rice unattended to. Make sure you stir that, give that a little stir, and come back to the keema. So once you've seen that the keema is nicely coated with the gravy, the next step is to go ahead and add a lid on and have this cooked for at least 10 minutes, just so the chicken starts cooking and it doesn't require to be cooked, because we're not cooking the rice from scratch in this pan itself. It's getting cooked at 80% in another vessel by itself. So we're going to cover this, and we're going to let it cook for 10 minutes, about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we should be all set from there. So this is getting a lid on it, and just go back to your rice. Make sure your rice is doing well, and yeah, we'll certainly circle back in about 10 minutes or so. Alright, so it's been cooking for about 8 minutes now. We're going to add about a little sprinkle of coriander leaves and a little bit of mint leaves as well. And now we'll just leave this without the lid and let it, let all the water evaporate from this, whatever water is remaining. There's not much, there's just a little bit. Let it all evaporate, and once that's done, the next thing is to just add the rice. The rice is 80% cooked and it's perfect. We're waiting for the mince to sort of dry really well, and we'll just circle back in about maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and it should be just perfect for us to add the rice in. Alright, so the mince is now perfect with no moisture in it, and now we're gonna layer out the rice. So be very careful with the rice. I'm using this sort of a colander or strainer, and make sure you get most of the water out from the rice before you add it in here. You're gonna put this on a low flame for at least 10 to 12 minutes, and that's when you'll have a perfectly cooked dum biryani. Just make sure you don't break the rice. You got to be very careful with the rice. You don't want to break the rice. And then once you add all of the grains of rice in there, you're going to finish it off with coriander leaves, mint leaves, and of course your fried onions. Yeah, and the final or not final, we're gonna add some ghee to this, just a little bit, not too much. And so the next thing is to add a little bit of saffron water just for the color, and once you add that, you just close this and cook it for at least like I said 10 to 12 minutes on the lowest flame you can. Alright, so we just added about half a teaspoon of saffron in some water, and just add it to the rice. So you can use artificial food coloring also, that's a personal choice, or you can even choose to add this with milk. but we just prefer to use just simple water. Alright, so we've got that added in there, and just cover this now for 10 minutes on a nice low flame, 10 or 12 minutes, and you should have a perfectly cooked dum biryani, and we'll show you the finished product. Alright, so it's been about 12 minutes, and we're just gonna quickly check on the biryani and see if it's cooked. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted to see. So success, I'd say. It smells really, really good. Alright, so please do try this at your place and let us know how it turns out. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, cheers, take care, God bless you all.